In today's video, we are talking about how to have a healthy relationship with money. Since money is going to be a part of our lives for our entire life, we want to make sure that we have the healthiest relationship with money as possible. How we perceive, manage, and interact with money is going to impact our financial well-being. We are going to talk about some tips and strategies on how to establish a healthy relationship with money. Having a healthy relationship with money not only involves managing our money well, but it's also the mindset we have about our money. The more healthy that relationship is with our money, the better off we are going to be with our finances. So let's talk about these tips and strategies to help you have a healthy relationship with money. And make sure and stick around until the very end because I have some really good tips. These are the tips and strategies that helped me become financially free. All right, tip number one that I want to share is realizing that money is a tool. It is a resource that we can use. That's all money is. It's a tool that can help us achieve our financial goals. We are the ones that tie emotion to money. We could be saying, oh, I wish I made more money in my business, or I wish I would get a raise at work. And we start to feel bad when we don't receive those things. And then we tie that emotion to money, and it makes us have a not so healthy relationship with money. But if we can realize it is just strictly a tool or a resource that can help us, then we can take a step back and think, okay, what are the actions I need to be taking to increase my income in my business or at my job, instead of thinking, oh, I really hate money, I never have enough of it. And of course, we want to have respect toward money. We don't want to just see it as a source of stress and develop an unhealthy relationship with money. I know for me, when I started thinking money is just a tool, it's just a resource, it's just money, then I kind of let go of any extra emotion I have around that. If I have to pay a really high electrical bill during the summer or a high heating bill during the winter, I'm not having a negative attitude toward that. I'm just thinking, well, it's just money. I can always make more. There is plenty to go around. And that brings us to point number two, which is to understand your current money mindset. Are you constantly thinking negative thoughts about money? Do you feel like it is scarce, that you will never make enough money, you'll never be able to retire, and therefore you're thinking negative thoughts about money? Or are you thinking, you know what, I can always make more money. There's plenty to go around. One thing that has helped me improve my relationship with money is being grateful for what I do have. And when I am more grateful for the money I do have, I feel like sometimes more money will come in, or even just more blessings will come in. There are things that are coming in other ways. For example, my laptop keyboard stopped working properly. I would hit a key and it would make it go twice or even 3 times, so it was really hard to type on my keyboard. And I looked online to see if this was a problem with MacBook, and it turns out it was. They had a certain line of keyboards that weren't working properly, and so they started replacing them free of charge. But it had to be within a certain time frame, and my MacBook is older than that. And I thought, well, I need to get this fixed. And so I just took it in and asked if they could fix it. And it turns out they ended up trying to clean it, but they broke one of the keys, and so they ended up fixing it free instead of me having to pay about $700. And of course, I don't know if that's directly related to me thinking positively about money, but I think it has some correlation. If I was going into the situation just dreading paying the money and being really negative and rude to the person that was trying to help me at the Mac store, then I don't know, things may not have worked out for my benefit. And of course, things don't always work out that way. But if we can just keep that positive mindset, that positive energy around money, then it means we are looking for the positive things out there, and we'll start to see more of those positive things. All right, the third tip that I want to share with you is to have a plan for your money. If you're just receiving a paycheck and spending all of it and not having anything left over, not paying yourself, then you're going to feel strapped for cash and feel like money is very scarce. But if you have a plan for the money you are receiving, then you can actually put your money toward what you want to be putting it toward. For example, if you say, all right, every time I get paid in my business, I'm going to pay a certain percentage to myself. I'm going to put that directly into my savings account. you'll be able to build up a savings over time, and then you can pay your bills with the rest of that money. But if you don't plan that in advance, then you may just end up swiping your credit card and spending all of the money that you have, possibly even more money than you have. And I want to point out, if you are receiving an increase in money, for example, if you are getting a raise at work, or if you have raised your rates for your business, so you know you'll receive more income, make a plan for that before you actually start receiving that money. You can put that directly into your investment accounts, for example, or directly into building up your emergency fund, or paying off your high interest debt, or saving for something fun, a trip that you may want to take. And that way you're not just receiving that money and thinking, all right, I'll just go spend it on whatever, and then you don't even remember what you spent it on, and you think, oh, why didn't I save some of that money or invest some of that money? If we have a plan beforehand, that is going to make a big difference. When we are planning those things out, we are going to have a healthier relationship with money because we're actually spending it on things that are important to us. And this goes right along with tip number 4, which is conscious spending. We don't want to just be swiping the credit card all the time and not even realizing what we're spending our money on. We want to be conscious spenders and intentionally spend our money on things that are going to be important to us. This helps to get rid of impulsive or unnecessary spending. And of course, we may not be perfect at this, but the more we do it, then the better we are going to become at it. If we can just take a moment before we spend money and think, all right, is this going to get me closer to my financial goals, or is it going to take me further away? Or is it going to bring me some lasting happiness, or will it just be something I'm going to forget about in a couple of weeks? Being a conscious spender really helps us to have a healthier relationship with money because it's bringing us more joy. I know for me, when I was purchasing my third property, I really cut back on my unnecessary spending. I kept thinking, oh, if I spend money here, I can't put it toward a down payment. It will take me even longer to save up for that down payment. So I cut back on a lot of my clothing spending and other unnecessary expenses. And I was really happy that I did that because I was able to purchase a property and make that property work for me so that I could have cash flow coming in because I had roommates. And I was able to have a lot more money than if I was just to spend money here and there and not being really intentional on what I was spending my money on. Comment below and tell me, are you a conscious spender? And then let's move to tip number 5 on how to have a healthy relationship with money. And this kind of is something we've talked about before, but it's to save and invest our money wisely. If we're able to save our money and have an emergency fund, we are not going to feel strapped for cash if something goes wrong and we have to pay for that emergency, which will help us have that healthier relationship with money. So make sure that you do have an emergency fund, and I like keeping mine in a high yield interest savings account. That way I can earn a little bit extra money on that emergency fund. I like using Ally, but there are a lot of different banks out there that have a higher interest rate on their savings account. So make sure and put your emergency fund in one of those accounts. And then we also want to invest our money wisely. If we are investing our money and we are making it work for us, we are going to have a lot healthier relationship with money. I have seen this in my own life. I have gotten so excited when I've invested my money and that money has gone up over the long term because I think, whoa, I did not put that much money in my accounts, but look how much money I have because of compound interest. And yes, it is hard to stomach when you see some of those investments go down when the whole market is going down. But if we can keep that long-term mindset, we are going to keep our investments in there and see them come back up over the longer term. And I really love helping my clients invest their money because they know once they do that, then they are on the path to being able to retire, to become financially free, which is super exciting. They are going to have that option to continue working if they want to and if they can. Or if they don't want to, or if they're not able to, then they'll be able to retire. And that definitely helps them have a healthier relationship with money because they aren't constantly worried about the future and what is going to happen to them or to their family if they do run out of money and they're not able to make more money. Having that peace of mind is really key. So we want to make sure we definitely invest our money when we are to that stage. And if you want help investing in the stock market, I have a free masterclass about that. I will leave a link below in the description. You can click the link below and check out my free masterclass. And that way you can have peace of mind around money, knowing you will be able to retire. And then tip number 6 on how to have a healthy relationship with money is to manage your debt wisely. The healthier relationship we have with money, the easier we are going to manage our debt. If we have a lot of high interest debt, for example, credit card debt, then we are going to be able to just remember that money is a tool, it's a resource, and figure out a plan in order to pay this off so that we can take the next step and start investing our money. And I'm not saying all debt is bad, because some of it is good. I've been able to leverage debt to create more cash flow. I've been able to invest in rental properties, and I've taken out a mortgage in order to do that. So I've put up some of the money, my down payment, and then I've borrowed from the bank the rest of the amount, and I'm able to put renters in those places and create cash flow every single month. So I am leveraging debt. And the nice thing about leveraging debt is that it can even help you pay off debt. I've been able to pay off 2 of my mortgages so far, but if I did not continue to invest in real estate, I would not have enough money to pay those properties off. And having a healthy relationship with money really helped me to do that, because I wasn't feeling so scared about investing. I knew that it would help me in the long run. And then tip number 7 that I want to share on how to have a healthy relationship with money is communicating about money. I feel like we don't talk enough about money. And not that we need to be sharing all of our details with everyone, but at least with a few trusted people, you can ask them, oh, how are you investing your money? Oh, where do you keep your savings? Different things like that. The more that we can communicate effectively about money and not just complain about money, then the healthier relationship we are going to have with our money. This is one thing that really helped me to invest in real estate. I have a friend who is very successful with his real estate investments, and so I went to him and I asked him a lot of questions about investing in real estate, and he was nice enough to answer them and help me start investing in real estate because of the information he was providing for me. And also, when we are sharing things about money, then it's going to be at the top of our mind. We aren't going to be trying to avoid money, and we'll be able to make progress with our money. And while we are communicating about money, this brings us to tip number 8, which is to continue to educate ourselves about money. That is going to help us have a healthier relationship with money. If we are educating ourselves, if we are learning better ways to budget our money, to save money, to invest money, then we're going to become better with our money. But if we just continue to say, oh, I don't know how to do that, or oh, that didn't work for so-and-so, it's not going to work for me, then we're not going to make progress with our money. We're not going to have that healthier relationship with money. There are lots of different ways we can educate ourselves. There are plenty of YouTube videos out there, or even podcasts, or even books. And speaking of books, I do have my book that I recently released, You Will Be Financially Free. So I will leave a link for this below in the description, and you can get your own copy and learn more about saving and investing your money. Comment and tell me one way you've been able to improve your relationship with money. I am curious to know. And if you found this video helpful, please hit that like button and share it with someone else who would like to hear this information. And hit the subscribe button to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and hit the little bell to get notified on when I post new videos. And if you want to see even more great content from me, make sure and check out the videos on the side of the screen. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.